Your house is empty, you're all by yourself, and you're sitting at your desk. Your hand is shaking, and tears are streaming down your face. You have been trying to write a letter for a week or so now to your family. You've been trying to get the courage to say goodbye to your family, friends, the world, and to yourself. Today you have found the courage, but you can't find the right words. You know you'll never make your family understand. You know they'll blame themselves. So you start by saying it's not their fault. None of this was their fault. You tell them not to be sad, and to not blame themselves. You tell them where your stuff should go, and then write a heartbreaking goodbye. You are counting your heartbeats, and you feel unnaturally calm. You are ready to say your goodbyes. You sign your name at the bottom of the letter, hand still shaking. Soon you will be free from the heartbreak. Soon you won't have to deal with the bullies. You won't have to argue with your parents every day. Your brother won't hit you anymore. Your sister won't scream at you, and your friends will never ditch you again. They won't have to. They won't need to. You use your last breaths to whisper your goodbyes. You use your very last breath to whisper an apology. You know it's wrong to do it. You just can't handle life anymore. Your mom comes to wake you up for school the next morning. She knocks on the door and calls your name. She knocks a few times, and still you don't stir. She has a bad feeling in the pit of her stomach. She walks across the room with a worried expression on her face. Your mom places a hand on your face and recoils from the cold. A scream, a hollow, empty scream, comes out of her mouth. She crumples to the floor, tears streaming down her face. She curls up in the fetal position, trying to mask up the hurt so that she can tell your brother and sister later. Nobody cares, right? Your dad comes running up the stairs, hearing your mother's screams of terror. He makes it up to your mom's room and takes a few seconds to piece it together. When he does, he moans softly and goes weak. He walks over to you and holds your body in his arms, sobbing. He's shaking, and the tighter he holds you, the emptier he feels. He can't believe you're gone. He can't believe you left him. He was going to take you to lunch today. Your dad was going to check you out of school because he saw that you were having a rough time. Now your daddy is blaming himself. He didn't do it fast enough. It's too late. Nobody cares, right? At school, your friend is called down to the office. She knows immediately something is wrong, and she starts trembling. She knows something is wrong, but she doesn't know what. She can't imagine what would be going on. Her family is safe at home, and then she suddenly realizes you didn't come to school. The office lady that has come to get her has to help your best friend walk to the office. When the counselor tells her what has happened, that you left her here, she falls apart. She crumples to the floor and sobs. You were the only reason she kept struggling on. You were the only reason she saw any happiness in her life. You were the only reason for her being alive. You saved her, but now you're killing her. The pain overwhelms her. Nobody cares, right? At the end of the day, the school announced your death. They say some words over the intercom, and everybody feels the heaviness. That kid that threw things at you during math is blaming himself. The cheerleader that called you fat is blaming herself. The kid that made you give him your lunch every day is blaming himself. The kid that turned you down to the dance can't believe he said no. Those kids that teased you for dropping your stuff wish they had helped you pick your stuff up instead. All these kids are blaming themselves, and the pain hits them too. They can't believe they were teasing you. The kid that had a crush on you, now he'll never get to tell you. He'll never get to say that he wanted to take you on a date. Nobody cares, right? Finally, your siblings come home. Your parents have already read the letter, beating themselves up. They wish they'd never taken your phone. They wish they had told you to turn your music up instead of down, so they could understand what you were feeling. Your brother asks where you are, because you always beat them home from school. When he sees the look in your mom and dad's eyes, he asks again, this time scared, what had happened? Was there a shooting at the school? Had you been hit by a car? No. They tell him that you decided to say goodbye on your own. He runs up to your room and lays on your bed. He hides his face in your pillows and cries. He blames himself. Why didn't he give you a hug instead of teasing you for wearing glasses? Why did he have to hate you so much? Nobody cares. Right? Your sister is a little bit too little to understand, so your parents just tell her that you went to heaven. They tell her that you're in a better place now and that you're happy. She asks you why you didn't take her. She asks why you went by yourself. That's when your parents fall apart and they wrap your 6-year-old sister in their arms. They tell her that you had to go by yourself, that you couldn't take her. Your little sister cries. She didn't want you to go all by yourself. She always wanted to see heaven with you. She didn't want you to go up there all by yourself, because it's a long journey to take all by yourself. She always wanted to walk by your side. You were her hero, despite all the times she yelled at you. She wanted to be just like you. Nobody cares, right? Your funeral is hard. Everybody from school, including the kids and the boys, come to say words for you. They say how amazing you are. Your best friend gets up there and can barely talk through her tears. She says she keeps expecting to see you every day. She thinks the things she's going to tell you that day, and then remembers that you aren't there to talk to her anymore. She misses you more than anything. Your parents can't even say anything. Your mom gets up there and cries. Your dad doesn't even bother getting up there. He's too busy trying to hold himself together for your brother and your sister's sake. Your mom is already broken. He doesn't want to break too. The kid that had a crush on you professes his love on the stand. Everybody cries then, even the tough people. Your brother can't handle it. He's in so much pain, and he's so confused. Your sister has the teddy bear you gave her last Christmas and won't let go of it. Nobody can hold themselves together. All the students from school, all the teachers, your whole family, and all your friends, past and present, came. They all want to know why you did what you did, but nobody has the answers because you didn't reach out. Nobody cares, right? It's been a few months since your funeral. Your mom is a shell of her former self. Your brother sleeps in your room every night and tries to remember what you smelled like and what pillows you used. Your brother cuts himself now. He carries a picture of him and you smiling together. He carries it everywhere. He wears your locket that has him and you in it. He gets made fun of, but he doesn't care. Your sister cuddles with the teddy bear you gave her and has to carry it with her everywhere she goes. Her teachers don't try to take it away because they understand the value behind it. Your dad? He's slowly losing motivation to work anymore. Everything reminds him of you. Your best friend committed suicide a week after you did, just adding to the pain. The cheerleader who called you fat now starves herself. The kid that threw things at you now isn't motivated to even go to school. He does drugs to try to forget you. The kid that stole your lunch every day won't even eat his own lunch now. The kid that turned you down for the dance won't dance with anyone at all. The kid that had a crush on you vows that he'll never love anyone ever again. His heart is broken, and now he doesn't feel secure enough to fall in love again. Nobody cares. Right? I want you to understand that even though you can't see them, there are people that care, that love you. You may not mean anything to the world, but you mean the world to someone. Maybe even more than that. There are people who depend on you, and you cannot lose sight of that. They love you so much, and you will cause so much pain to people if you say goodbye. They will blame themselves no matter how many times you tell them not to. You need to reach out. You need to keep struggling. Don't ever make the choice to say goodbye. It may seem like it's never going to get better, but it will. It will get better. There is an end to the pain that you are feeling right now. I've had first-hand experience with this, and I know you will be just fine. There are so many ways to feel better. You may need help finding those ways, and that's okay. I needed help too. You don't have to struggle by yourself. Someone cares.